Hello everybody, it's RRC again, and it's going to be a Formula Renault qualifying starting really soon. The qualifying session is going to take place at Brno, it's the Czech Republic. So we're going to have the first ever session of FRC taking place at uh, Czech Republic, yeah. It's also one of the longest tracks in Formula Renault calendar, not counting Spa of course. So the lap times are going to be around 2 minutes or so. Anyways, talking about the weather, is going to be raining. Um, and not it's not going to be a light rain, as it's raining quite heavily. Anyways, doesn't matter. So we're starting really soon. And yes, it's going to be a groups qualifying. So it's going to be Q1, Group 1, Group 2, and Q2, absolutely the same. First group and then the second group. And talking about the drivers being sorted by groups, I guess it's such an interesting thing. So the first qualifying group is going to be the drivers uh, on first, third, fifth, seventh position in the championship and so on. And on the second group, there are going to be drivers on second, fourth, sixth, eighth, and so on championship positions. Uh, uh, okay, so now I guess I should just shut up and already start the action at Czech Republic. That's the pit lane of this beautiful Czech track, as we're waiting for the first drivers to leave their garages. And we already have the first driver. It's somebody from Gordon Bros, and it is A. Galloway. A. Galloway coming around the first corner of this track. As I've already said, it's going to be one of the longest tracks. Uh, and it's going to take a while for these drivers to complete the lap. Not actually a while, but yes, as I said, around 2 minutes. And also talking about the track, it is really wide, so we might have 4 wide battles tomorrow, or not tomorrow. Let's see when the race is going to be, because okay, actually doesn't matter. So yeah, that's how wide the track is. I guess even about 5 cars can go side by side there, even with the low speed, but I guess they can do that. Just look at that. The final 2 weekends at Formula Renault are going to take place at some interesting places. Talking about the track configuration, as both of these tracks uh, uh, are really good for fast cars, as there are a lot of long straights, so they're just really long, like this one, Czech Republic, as A. Galloway is already starting the flying lap. Uh, as also here talking about Paul Ricard, there are two really long straights where a lot of overtaking may happen. The same about the Czech Republic. There are so many like slow corners, or there are, but yes, that's the track map. As we can see, there are a lot of straights here, like the main straight to turn 1, and a lot more. Yeah, actually, uh, looks like the rain is getting even heavier. Let's see what's going to happen to the drivers from the second qualifying group. Um, as Galloway is already completing the final sector of this uh, beautiful track. Now just 2 corners go, as these corners turn 13 and turn 14. The lap time is already going to be over 2 minutes. As Gilby crosses the line, 2 minutes 12 seconds and 940 thousandths of a second. Adams is going to be second with a huge gap behind Galloway, but he manages even faster by a half of the second. But even faster is going to be Nathan Norman, who is now on P1. Alexander is going to be on P5, Labokte P3 with Jacob Horliher up into second. 2 tenths between Ormond and Horliher. If she's going to cross the line and he's going to end up on P4. Dimo on P8, we still have 2 more drivers here. One of them is going to be Georgy Limonov. The Kazakh driver is going to be on P6, and Jacob Miller a bit slower by just 4 thousandths of a second, but still on P9. These are the Group 1 qualifying times. As we're going to see you in a couple of minutes again for the second group of the first qualifying session. That's it, we're starting the second session of today's qualifying. This is going to be a battle for the fastest lap time in Q1, but this time between 11 drivers who were not competing in group number 1. And these drivers are going to be Kakaboy, Dan Jordanson, then we have somebody in the back, as it is the driver for Motopack Academy, Simon Damsgaard. And behind him is going to be Formula Sport car of Dylan Ebrahiminian. Do you have anybody else? Yes, we do. It's going to be Nicholas Binala behind him, number 35 of SL Formula. Who's going to be next? It's going to be Gordon Bros of Michael Fraser, car number 2. Then it's going to be Gerald K. Kittyfan. I was a bit wrong with the a car livery. Okay, then it's going to be Jorge Pavin, Haiti Jane Busiga, Agus Speed, and Senior Italiana, with looks like nobody behind. Yeah, nobody behind on the pit lane, only Jacob Miller, who has already completed the session, as he's preparing for this for Q2. I guess there's going to be some traffic for Dan Jordanson, but that's kinda difficult to predict. Basically, we have nothing to talk about, so let's just remember the positions in the standings. Okay, so the one who is leading is Jacob Horliger, who has 8 points gap ahead of Kai Kittifan. If it was Formula 1, it was like any mistake could have cost him championship lead, because 8 points is not that much, but in Formula 1 we have 10 points for the win in any race of the weekend. So basically it's going to be really difficult to become the championship leader, for example, after the first race here at Brno, as Kai Kittifan is, as I've already said, 8 points behind him, and the next driver on P3 is Mark Labokta, who is 12 points behind, so he has no chance to become the championship leader after the first race. Only Kai Kittifan can do it, but only if Jacob Horliger is going to be outside the top 8. But talking about a possibility of becoming the championship leader after the weekend, not just the first race, then there are still 5 drivers able to do that. Four drivers, not counting Jacob Horliger, of course, as he's the leader, but I guess we can still count him. So the drivers who can be the championship leaders before the final weekend are Jacob Horliger, our championship leader, then Kei Kittifan, Mark Labokta, Jorge Pavin, 1 point behind Mark Labokta, and that means that he is 13 points behind Jacob Horliger. Kakabo is already completing the final sector, and Miran FC with also 32 points. But the number of drivers still able to win the championship is is 21. The only one who cannot win the championship is Senor Italiana, but let's get back to the session, as the fastest so far after two drivers completed the lap is Dan Jordanson. What about Simon Damsgaard? He's going to be second. The next one is going to be Dylan Abrahamian, already coming down the main straight, and for now he's the fastest. But the next one is going to be Nicolas Binalla. And he has a huge advantage of 8 tenths of a second ahead of Dylan Abrahamian. And what about the conditions? They surely have gotten worse. Michael Fraser P4, then Kiki Fan is going to be on second position, Jorge Pavin is going to be the next one, as he's going to be on P7, AJ Buski is going to be on P8, Agus Pete is going to be on P8, Senor Italian is going to be on P6, and that's all. And I guess it's a bit unfair that the gap between Spinali and Torment is 7 seconds. Even if Torment was the fastest in the first group, Spinal was the fastest in the second group, but still something is wrong. So I guess the best decision is going to be, I don't know what's going to be the best decision, so yeah. Such an interesting situation, as both groups had absolutely different conditions of setting the flying lap. Even if we take a look at the rain right now, it has got a bit lighter, I would say, but still the lap times are worse and worse. That's really interesting, as also the gap between P1 and P2 here is like about 8 tenths of a second. So I guess that's all for Q1. See you for the next session in a couple of minutes, and I guess there is going to be a decision for such an interesting situation. It's time for Q2, ladies and gentlemen, and I guess that the decision about the first qualifying session was made. Maybe it's correct, maybe it's right decision, maybe it is a wrong decision, but I guess that the race 1 grid is going to be decided still by the results of the first qualifying session, but a bit different. The pole sitter is going to be Nathan Norman, the second position is going to be Nicholas Binala. There's going to be Hurler and Kitty Fun, and so on. So basically, the pole sitter is going to be the Group 1 winner. On the second place is going to be the Group 2 winner. On P3 is going to be the driver on the second position in Group 1. Then it's going to be on P4 the second position driver of Group 2, and so on. Group 1 P3, Group 1 P, Group 2 P3, Group 1 P4, Group 2 P4, and so on until Kakaboy, who is going to be starting last, as he is situated on P11 in the last session, which actually was the Group 2 qualifying. Again, nothing to talk about, so let's talk about such an interesting tactics by Corn and Bros drivers who want to decide who is going to be starting the flying lap second and who is going to be starting it third, as Jake Miller almost pushes Galloway off the track. That's interesting. And also, if you want to become a commentator, as we're trying to find some, you can contact us on Discord, the link is in the description, and you can join the race streams voice chat to commentate the qualifying session of the race. It does not really matter, but most importantly, it's like you are free to do it. Everybody can commentate, because why not? As both Corn and Bros drivers are on their way to ruin each other's lap times. Very interesting. Also, Nathan Norman and Dima Kulangan are on the flying laps, the same as Adams, FG, and Alexandro completing the final chicane. The Brazilian driver is now also starting the flying lap. But let's get back to these Corn and Bros drivers, Jacob Miller and Tay Galloway, as A has lost 2 seconds after this interesting battle into turn 1, turn 2. Let's get back to Jimenez, as he is completing the middle sector. The MP Motorsport driver, who is now P21 in the championship, but he's still able to fight for the championship. Championship, yeah. Okay. Here comes Kirian. What about these guys? Eagleway cannot get closer to Jacob. So now all the eyes are on Kirian. Our MP Motorsport driver from Great Britain. And also I guess that really soon there are going to be Formula Renault and also Formula 1 sign-ups open for the 2012 season, so Don't be too late or they're going to be closed. So I don't know what to say. Yeah. Okay, Kirian Jimenez completes the lap. The next one's going to be Jacob Miller, who's surely not going to be on the first position, but actually he is for a couple of seconds, but still. He's on second, Galloway P5, Ormond P1, Dimkong on P3, then the next one's going to be Logan Adams, number 84, is up to second position. Mirnev is going to be on P6, Alexandre, the Brazilian, is at the next one. And after crossing the line, he is going to be on P6, ahead of FG and Galloway, while Horliher is now up the fastest driver, Lemon of P6, and the last one's going to be Mark Labocta, who's on P9. What about the drivers? Horliher is the winner of Group 1, MP Motorsport. On the second position we have Nathan Normand, MP Motorsport. And on P3 we have Logan Adams. And on P7 we have Kieran Jimenez, MP Motorsport. So not we can say that it's a nice session by MP Motorsport, but it looks like Kieran has ruined a nice streak. So it would have been 1, 2, 3 for MP Motorsport, or it wouldn't happen, but still, it would be beautiful to see MP 1, 2, 3. But yeah, Kieran is on P7, at least not the last position in this session. Well, that's it again, as we're getting ready for the final session of for today. It is going to be the group 2 of second qualifying session, also for Moreno. So we'll be back quite soon. And we're back again. We're back at Czech Republic for the second group of the second qualifying session. And I guess we are also going to take a look at the drivers' lap times, to be sure that we're not going to use the basically the same format for the race 1 grid, also for the grid of the second race. We have Kakaboy on the track. Right behind him it's Simon Damsgaard. We have Motorsport Arena and Motorpark Academy drivers with almost the same livery, just a bit different. If we take a look at the mirrors. But talking about anything else, it really looks absolutely the same. Right behind them it's Kay Kittifan, then Michael Fraser, Dylan Abrahamian, Senior Italiana, Dan Jordanson, Heidi Jane Busiga, Agus Pete Jorge Pavin, and Nicholas Zbinal, who's going to be starting his lap uh, last. And I guess he's also going to be finishing his lap also last. And also another advertisement, because we really don't have nothing to talk about. So I guess we're going to make something like a wiki page for our flying championship, and so we need some editors to do that, who know how to do that. And if you also want to become if you want to edit our wiki or just to create it, you can also contact us on Discord. As I've already said, the link is in the description, and all the information you want will be given. I guess that all the information is already given on the server, like the first races, all the standings after each race, even of 2010 season. So let's get back to the track, as it's raining really heavily again. And Kakaboy is on the flying lap. Let's just have an onboard. The fastest Group 1 lap time was 2 minutes 17 seconds and 597 thousandths of a second. So they are almost the same as the Q1 Group 2 lap times. Kakaboy is complete in the middle sector, while Simon Dunkart is getting quite close to him in the chicane. I guess that the Formula Renault qualifying sessions are quite boring, because we just take a look at the drivers taking one lap around the circuit. Just one. Talking about the group qualifying sessions, of course, because we usually have Q1 and Q2 format, or the group's qualifying session, which I guess ruins all the fun of this feeder series. Sadly, we cannot make it a bit different, talking about the group qualifying sessions, because of the car's physics, which don't allow us to do that, because since on some tracks the cars can be stuck on the pit lane. Anyways, Kakaboy P3, Damsgaard P2, Kittifan P1, Michael Fraser up into second position, overtaking Simon Damsgaard. Dylan Abrahamian is going to be the next one, but only P5. Senior Italiana P6, AD Jane Busiga on second position, with Jordanson a 6th, speed P4. The next one is going to be Jorge Pavin. Jorge Pavin, as he's going to be on 4th position. Nicholas Vinala is completing the lap on P5. Let's take a look. Kakaboy is on P9, and yeah, that's all. And again, comparing the Group 1 and Group 2 lap times, the fastest driver of the second qualifying stage, who is Kei Kittifan, was 10 10 seconds slower than Jacob Horlicher. And now comparing it to the Q1 Group 1 results or lap times, it is 16 seconds difference. Well, I guess that's it, so we're going to use the same format for Q2. Talking about the starting grid, as we're going to have Horlicher starting from pole with Gideon starting second. I know it's a bit unfair, but I guess I just have nothing to do in such a situation. And anyways, if I ruin somebody's qualifying session, I'm really sorry for that, because yeah, just made another mistake. Not the first one, but yeah. That's it. And even I think that the starting grids are going to be really unfair, comparing to the drivers from Group 1 and Group 2, as the drivers from the first group surely have got an advantage, I would say, on the starting grid, as the Group 1 winner is the pole seater, while the Group 2 winner is starting just second. But I guess at least some drivers have equal chances for the win, like the driver starting from the front row, as the decisive factor in the race, I guess, is going to be the start. We have no pit stops, we have nothing else, just the start. But yes, I'm predicting some fantastic activity on the track tomorrow. Talking about the action on the track, as I said, the track is really wide, a lot of long straights, and hopefully there is also going to be a lot of action. But for now, that's all. Thank you for watching. Your commentator today was Ruspro. I wish you a good afternoon, a good evening, or a good night. And that's all for now. Goodbye, and see you next time for the main races of Formula Renault weekend at Brno at Czech Republic.